Greetings everyone, it's Reed, and I've been up all night working away on stuff. Yeah, I work weird, long hours sometimes because, well, technology jobs are crazy. You never know what's coming down the pipeline. Now, it's about almost 5 a.m. I'm tired, but I decided there was some stuff on my mind I decided I wanted to talk to all of you about. Now, I had a good start to part of this evening. I had a live stream chat with Will at Just In Time Prepping. If you don't know who he is, the link's up here. And honestly, if you have no idea who he is, but you're on my channel, you got me confused how the heck you hit me first. But check him out if you haven't heard of him. Nice guy and stuff. This is the first ever live stream I've ever been on. And it was really interesting. Quite enjoyable, actually. We had a good discussions like that. And some disagreement. Now, that's particularly what this video is about. It's a hard-hitting video. Now, if you are one of those people, this is sort of a snowflake check for you. If you can handle disagreement and everything else, by all means, continue on. If you cannot handle disagreement, you're going to get upset, bugged, and annoyed, and you're going to click unsub and say, I hate you. Don't watch this video. Stick to the solar series and other ideas. This video is not for you. Sorry. Too bad. Now, if you want to leave a constructive comment and say, Reed, you are completely and utterly full of crap. You have no idea what you're talking about. By all means, leave a comment and say how nuts and crazy I am. I'll still be here making videos. And maybe I'll decide that your opinion has wonderful, great merit, and I will change mine a bit and refine my ideas. Because it's through critical thinking, being able to forge your ideas through fire, we arrive at some really, really solid foundations. And it's important. It's sort of the Socratic method. Great foundational principle of Western society. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, please, please go read it. It is very informative about a lot of the history of Western societies. And it is a very good teacher. Anyways, let's jump off of that. Now, one thing came up and stuff like that, and we were discussing, how groups are formed, leadership, stuff like that, and how to manage securities like that. I had one view, another guy had a different view. So I decided, on my eye back and forth, we need to discuss this in some detail here. And I want to present these things and get you to think about them. A lot of people in the prepping world and the community, they all think that, everything falls apart like that. We got to set up a military system. We got to run this like a military operation. We got to do this. We got to do that. All military style. All major security. Got to be secure. Has to be secure. There's a lot of issues in there. And we really need to address them. Because, well, like I said, lots of issues. And let's get on with that. Now, the first thing is, you set up your military operation. You get all that going. You've just become a military dictatorship. Now, don't try to weasel out of it. Accept what you've become. That's what you are. A military dictatorship. And power corrupts. And absolute power corrupts absolutely. But let's not start there. Let's start with something else a little more mundane. Food. Yes, food. Food is very, very important here. And it's an important logistical resource. One of the big primary concerns I have revolves all around food and supplies. I'm very interested in making certain I have lots of food and lots of supplies, and I have all the people in my group storing lots of food and lots of supplies for lots of extra people. All right? We're going to need people, and we're going to need lots and lots of food. All right? Now, let's look at some history, okay? Back in the Middle Ages, the average around population devoted to raising food was around 70% of the population. It's sometimes a little less, sometimes quite a bit more. It's like that. But you can sort of use 70%. And there's plenty of resources. You can go type into your favorite search engine and look about the history of agriculture, and you see how that works. Only 10% was around in the cities, and a lot of it was inside guilds and doing jobs, specialized jobs. And you had 1% making up, the clergy and the lords and stuff. And that was about it. And everything else was whatever else there was. But mainly everything revolved around food production, serfs, peasant, and everything else. It was all of the farms and food. Now, we're talking simple resources, simple tools, simple methods back then. They had a very primitive crop rotation system because they were just beginning to understand fertilizer and how that sort of thing works. And of course, they didn't have our resources for fertilizer. Now, you look here in the 1900s in America, the average farm in America supported 4 people. Yeah, they were family farms. It was really close to subsistence farming. Now, when it go up to the 1960s or so, you end up like 75 or so people per farm. Then you go up to today, it's like 300 and something people per farm. Why have you had such a huge increase? Well, A, we have a lot more machinery and automation working on the systems. All right, really helps. I mean, machines like that, tons more productive than people. I mean, you need an army of people to sort of match it. Then, of course, we have massive scale, immense supply of fertilizer, make the most horrific land usable. And we've been abusing it immensely. We dump tons and tons of fertilizer to get those crops going every year. All those petrochemicals, gotta get that stuff growing. And then, of course, we have specially engineered and bred crops, including genetically modified organisms that are happy to be tolerant to Roundup, which is sprayed on everything these days. So lovely, so lovely. Now let's say we have a bunch of food stored away. You've got a group and stuff like that, and you've stored around, say, 2 or 3 years of food. That's a nice supply of food. And then SHTF happens. Take your perfect event, EMP. Yellowstone has just gone off. Asteroid impact, coronal mass ejection, whatever you want, right? Well, let's set the scenario basically saying your area, so like that, grids down, gone. There is no more supplies coming. All services cut off. You are on your own. Yeah, so you're saying, okay, we are going to set up our military command operation, and we're going to hold this land, we're going to run patrols, we're going to handle everything. Now that's hard, really, especially when you look at it, sort of like you've got different sort of levels of your perimeter. You've got up close, like I can look out to my front yard and have a good idea of what's changed and what's going on and everything else, and look at stuff and get, have a real good view of everything like that. Everything right in front of my face to where I can see right now at this moment, no fog of war. I know exactly what's going on. Well, 2 reasons, right? Out to my, mailbox, I got a pretty good reason of what's going on out there. I can see stuff and everything else. But something could happen, like someone can smash a windshield on one of my cars and I may not know who did it. I know it happened, but I don't know the culprits yet, right? But, I got a pretty good idea of nothing else may be there. I can look at other stuff and have reasonable expectations of things. Now, as you move out further away, things get more gray. We're dealing with the fog of war now. Further and further you get, harder it is to tell what's going on. Harder to distinguish between animal activity and human. Hard to distinguish between, random passerby and something nefarious. Very hard. Lots of people. Lots of very aware people. Lots of people very carefully paying attention. So say you set up your outpost and everything else like that. And you've decided we're going to hold this land and we're going to do a 30-mile radius around this. Wow. 30 miles. Well, actually, let's say 30-mile diameter, not radius. So you got a 15-mile radius. That's a huge, huge pile. But really, if you think about 15 miles, it's not that big either. I mean, you could have people come up on you and, make 15 miles in a couple hours. And they could be really hard to spot depending on the terrain you're dealing with. So you don't have much warning time, right? So if you're going to try to hold this, you're going to need a lot of people out there patrolling, analyzing, looking at everything, and doing stuff. You're burning calories. You're burning food. You are burning food fast. So you're running this as your military command operation, using food up quick. Time goes by, you've used up a ton of food. And let's say you found out you were having to use 30 people. And let's say you only had, 50, right? So you got 30 people out there, 24/7 security, consuming 3,000 calories a day. And you got only 20 people left to manage everything else. You know what that's going to turn into? Let me explain this. This is what happens. You look through history, we've seen this. We've seen this a lot. It turns into, you know what? We need you guys to accomplish this. Here's your quota. Yep. You know where I'm going. Yeah, we've seen this in history. Yeah, we need this much from the farm to support the troops that are keeping you safe. You gotta get it. And this, people lined up against walls and shot in the head for firing squad for not meeting their quotas. Yep. As much as you say, no, 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 no. I will be a benevolent dictator. I'm just doing this for the best. Do you know how many times we have heard that through history of that, no, 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 this revolution, we're doing it for the best of everyone. We know what's right for you. And then it turns into, well, Cuba, Soviet Union. Yeah, you know what's going on there. It turns into a horrible, horrible, hideous, awful mess. There is a very, very strong reason why in the U.S. we set up our system to be an authority from a civilian leadership. Do not ignore that lightly. Things were set up that we had all these other checks and balances, and we had the executives like that, and then the military reported under that. We did that very intentionally. And even though a standing army we were warned about with immense warning from our founding fathers, and for some dumb reason we've ignored that, still keeping it under civilian control is extremely important. And to toss away the ideas and principles of America because you think you understand what's best and your military dictatorship won't fail, you'll get it right, and you'll be the benevolent dictator and you will keep everyone safe, you're going to fail. Oh, you're going to fail. You're going to end up lining people up and shooting them because they're not making their quotas of their farms. You're going to be demanding, you got to build this stuff for us because we're keeping you safe. And you're going to have sort of an us versus them class. You know, tyrants versus the serfs. That's what's going to end up as. As much as you like to deny it, you're going to be blowing through food like crazy. And you're going to be looking at that going, oh my gosh, we need supplies. And you're going to either turn into a giant marauders that other groups are going to have to deal with and put you down, or you're just going to be setting quotas and kidnap other people, drag them in. We're going to keep you safe. But you got a farm. You don't meet this quota, we're shooting you. You're going to turn into the most evil thing out there, I tell you. And there's nothing you can do to stop it. Because absolute power corrupts absolutely. It is a time-proven thing. As much as you say, it won't happen to me. No, it won't happen to me. Oh, yes, it will. The number of people that have been able to toss away absolute power, I can count on one hand throughout history. It is so, so few out of the millions and billions out there. To think you're saying that. And then, of course, we got the idea of, hey, we're going to deploy technology to help manage this, like drones. Oh, yeah, drones, right? So, the drone models out there, the best they can do right now is, I think almost 30 minutes with some big battery packs. So grid's down, stuff's out, and you got solar panels to recharge your drones. You think those flying whack-a-madoos up there with all their noise aren't going to attract attention? Where the slightest motorized sound is going to attract attention for crazy distances? Oh yeah, you're going to attract tons of attention. And then there's going to be people watching your patrols, watching what you're doing. They're really going to start getting an interest in you. Remember, in a lot of this sort of scenario, it's much better to be passive observers than active observers. When you're out there doing a lot of things, problem is by being out there, you're causing disturbances. And those disturbances are tipping away and giving away massive amounts of valuable intel about you to the people you're trying to hide from. Okay? I think tons and tons of groups out there don't get this. You out there actively doing things, actively fudging with stuff, you are actively advertising tons of information about yourself to all sorts of people. Okay? All right? That is a key key thing about intelligence that I think tons of people out there don't get for some reason. You actively doing stuff, you are actively giving away information. Okay? Every action you do, you're giving away information. Okay? Remember this. It's vitally important. You do something, you give information. Sorry for sounding like a nutcase there, but it's something I'm trying to beat through people's heads, that sometimes they don't get it. Okay? I need to make more intelligence videos, a ton of them actually. Alright, so let's say you somehow managed to make it through several years like that, and you've exhausted your food supply. Okay? Now, very few of you guys have actually done a lot of work through farming. You've lost the skills. Alright? You are at low-level farming. You are at an inverse relationship here. You've got too many soldiers to not enough farmers. You are farming at medieval levels here now. You don't have the fertilizers. You don't have all the other technology. You don't have everything else. We're doing all of this stuff by hand. Inverse relationship. You need to take tons of your people out there being soldiers and get them on with the hose. All right? Need them out in the farms. And you look at history, how many percent do you need to do the farming? Well, base level, 70%. Think about that. You need to adjust a ton of your plans suddenly, don't you? Right? And actually, you're probably going to need closer to 90%. Because you're talking medieval ages, people had a lot of experience already doing this. What's your experience level farming at medieval technology level? Well, it's going to be bad. Probably going to need 90, 95%. You're going to have crop failures. You're going to have all these other things. Tons of groups out there that want to organize like this. Yeah, they're going to be securely starving. I'm going to steal that phrase from Bear. He's right on that one. Securely starving. They're going to be secure, but they're going to starve. And he's right. And I fully agree with that one. Yeah, you're going to be securely starving. Great, great plan. Honestly. So there's my rant for today. I really think you guys should think about this carefully. All right? I'm going to make a lot more videos, and we're going to go over how I sort of see organizing and managing the threats and dealing with things. Okay? I look at things from a very different perspective because I have an oddball background, but that's just me. I'm weird as heck. All right? And as much as a lot of groups think they're complete BAs and they will handle all sorts of things that come at them, you won't. You will fail. You run up against someone like me, oh my gosh, you're going to fail horrifically. Because someone like me is going to beat you bad. And it ain't going to be pretty. So feel free to tell me I'm a complete idiot in the comments. If not, feel free to add something constructive and we can discuss the ideas further. Or say, that's something to think about, Reed. Thanks for bringing it up. Well, anyways, hope everyone has a great day. I'm going to take a quick nap before going into the office. Long day ahead. Take care, everyone. This is Reed, out with my little rant for now.